Alright, it has been a minute, and of course I've missed you guys. Anyway, so I hope your week was awesome. It's nice to meet you again. It feels awesome. This is the first Saturday of the month, December, and of course it's a very amazing day. The year flies so fast. A lot has really happened for the last for the last 1 year. And of course, it's very amazing to see how events folded this particular 2024 year and of course season. And it's amazing a lineup that we have lined up for you today in our subsequent other sports show, the best sports show in the land right now. So of course we have a couple of matches in the Kenya Premier League. Some have already started, others of course it's just a matter of time before they kick off. And of course the very interesting tournament, I'm talking about the World Rugby Series. This is the second subsequent series of it. The first was the Dubai series, and now we have the Cape Town edition. And of course in the Dubai, well, the result was not that pleasing to Team Kenya. I'm talking about now the Shujas. However, there were some interesting prospects and promising of a better future. And of course, when I talk about the future, I'm talking about now the upcoming match. I'm talking about now the Cape Town series. And of course, we saw what our youngsters are able to produce on that field. And we do hope that the same energy will be replicated this time round in Cape Town, that in South Africa. And of course, the lessons from Dubai will be carried forward. And of course, in this Cape Town edition, even though Shujas are in a very tricky pool, they are in Pool B alongside Australia and of course Spain. Remember, Spain were the finalist of the Dubai 7th edition, and we'll be here to update you on the latest happening as far as the World Rugby Series is concerned. So that is something that we are really paying a lot of attention, and we are focusing. We are tilting our lenses there in Cape Town to bring you up to speed with this very amazing team and very prestigious tournament for the lovers of rugby. And don't forget, today, the Saturday, the 7th day of December 2024. It's a very interesting day in the history of Kenya football. Remember, this Saturday, the Football Kenya Federation will be electing the new president, for at least the one that will take the mantle of leadership from the outgoing president, Nick Mwendwa, and to lead the country for the next 4 years. And of course, big questions are mounting in regard to the task ahead for incoming president. And of course, we are experiencing a bit of challenges. Remember, we have preparation ahead of the CHAN qualifiers, or rather the CHAN championship. And in this regard, last week the Football Kenya, or rather the Confederation of Africa Football, came in Kenya to inspect Kasarani Stadium and Nyayo Stadium. However, they felt that this time round, maybe the country is not yet ready to host this CHAN as per the preparation at that particular time. But Kenya was given until 31st of December 2024 to iron out and to come up to just to speed up the preparation, to make sure that when the tournament begins in 2025, that in February, the country will be ready to host the CHAN. Remember, this is a joint bid alongside Uganda and Tanzania. And of course, these are just some of the paramount questions that are that will be asked for the next coming days, even as we wait to see who will be taking over from Nick Mwendwa. And remember, just to try and bring you up to speed with what you should know about this, the FKF election, we have 90 delegates, and of course, for a winner to be declared, for a candidate to be declared winner, he or she must at least attain 46%, or rather the 46 votes out of 90. That is, in mathematical terms, we'll call 50 plus 1 vote in the national election, just the way we do our national election. In the event that either candidate fail to attain that particular threshold, then the top three will go for a rerun. Then from there now we'll have to choose the next Football Kenya Federation president. So very interesting aspect. Now we have at least 8 candidates. We have the current vice president, that is Doris Petra. We have the former Football Kenya Federation CEO Barry Otieno. We have Hussein Mohammed. This is the Extreme Combat Sport CEO Hussein Mohammed, who is also eyeing for this particular seat, the top seat in the Kenya Football Federation affairs. We have so many candidates who are eyeing for this particular top seat in the football affairs and the running of football activities in the country to take over from the outgoing president Nick Mwendwa, who is also eyeing the vice president seat under the joint ticket of Doris Petra. So it's just a vice versa, some sort of affairs. I remember Doris Petra is the current FKF vice president, deputizing Nick Mwendwa. So this time round, it's Nick Mwendwa who is eyeing to deputize Doris Petra should their ticket clinch the 2024 Football Kenya Federation presidential elections that will be held today at Kasarani Gymnasium. So that is what is happening, and it's something that I will also be tilting our focus there to see how the events will be panning out, if indeed this is the next pair of leaders that will actually take the Football Kenya for the football activities in the country to the next level, or just a gamble. Maybe same monkeys, different forest, they say. That is a very interesting analogy to take a look at the football affairs in the country. And on a good note, we have a lot of football actions lined up for you. We have the Football Kenya Federation Premier League matches, and then we have the English Premier League matches. A lot have just happened in the last 7 days. The midweek we had a very interesting fixtures: Manchester United against Arsenal, Chelsea, and of course Manchester City there throwing their hat in the ring to redeem themselves. We had Liverpool who are seeking to extend their dominance and of course their lead at the summit of the English Premier League. So many activities packed up for you, and of course we'll still take a recap of what has been happening in the country for the last 1 year as far as the sporting activities is concerned in various disciplines. And of course this is a very interesting discussion, because the 2024 we have really witnessed a lot in the sporting arena, and of course this is something that we'll be bringing of course we'll be recapping about this and just bring you up to speed, and of course remind you about very interesting aspects that have just happened in the country and of course in the global stage as far as sporting activities are concerned. And before we do that, we have a sample of few of stories just to form the basis of our discussion and of course our show today, and these are some of the highlights that we have prepared for you in this particular show today. Alright, so we begin with football. Now, the Football Kenya Federation long-awaited presidential elections will finally be held today at Kasarani Indoor Arena as 8 candidates eye the biggest seat in Kenyan football. 90 delegates will cast their vote for the next FKF boss alongside the National Executive Committee members to succeed outgoing President Nick Mwendwa, whose 8-year reign has elapsed. According to the FKF Electoral Board Chairman Hesbon Owila, the winner must attain 46 votes in the first round, which translates to 50+1 threshold. If each candidate fails to meet the set threshold, the top 3 candidates, or rather candidates, will square it out in the second round. Alright, so leo ndio ile siku ya ndovu kumula mwanawe. Kazi ipo. Sisi ni macho tu. Tutasubiri sana kuona ni nini najiri pale Kasarani and see like who will be the next FKF president. Is it Doris Petra? Is it Barry Otieno? Is it Cleophas Shimanyula? Those are just some of the names, and of course those those eyeing to take over from Nick Mwendwa, whose term has elapses, the 8-year reign as the president of the Football Kenya Federation, whose tenure in office has had its fair share of challenges. We call it a roller coaster ride, the ups and downs. It's normal in life, and this how things work out. Sometimes things might work, sometimes not work. You leave a legacy, maybe a good one, sometimes a bad legacy, and that is the beauty of life. Anyway, so let's switch gears from the football activities now to rugby matters. Now, Kenya Sevens rugby team Shujaa will look to bounce back in the second leg of the 2024-2025 HSBC Cape Town Sevens this weekend, following a dismal performance at the Dubai Sevens, where they managed only 2 wins in 5 matches to finish 10th. Shujaa, who are in Pool B alongside Australia and Spain, aims to put behind their last weekend's performance in South Africa.
Amaitsa with ball in hand. Ready to kick things off for Kenya. They send it high. Great contest in the air and an advantage to the Kenyans to start things off. 24-19 loss against France in dramatic fashion. Special from Ryan Oosthuizen, but something illegal as well. The tap and go from Asati. This is a try for sure. Wekesa ducks down. Kenya takes the lead. And there they are, but they're everywhere, dancing at all times, enjoying the rugby no matter what.
All right, so in terms of talent, we have talent, and of course Dubai 7 was just one of many to come, and we know that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So Dubai 7 was just one step. We have the Cape Town. Next we'll be proceeding to the next edition until we surely make it and hit the target. And that is the prayer of Kenyans and of course the team itself and rugby enthusiasts. And we know that our team has what it takes to bring us to golden glory. It's not lost glory, but actually it's just postponed glory, and we shall resume. And this is the right step, and of course the right journey and the right way to begin the journey of transformation as far as Shujaa is concerned. Now let's switch focus to some other stories. Now, Sports Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has vowed to weed out gender-based violence and sexual abuse cases in the sports sector. The CS, who was speaking during a visit at Lemotit and Karanget athletics training camps in Kericho and Nakuru counties, asked parents countrywide to support his ministry in the fight against GBV, that warned that if fully not addressed, then this could have far-reaching negative effects on the sports. Murkomen also put on notice rogue coaches who sexually harass and exploit athletes, and that their days are numbered. That is a warning that he issued, and of course warning also trainers to always act professionally and in good faith. Alright, so GBV has no place in the sport. The gender-based violence should be condemned in the strongest term possible, at least just to amplify the message of Kipchumba Murkomen. Now, Beatrice Chelagat Cherop has been slapped with a 2-year ban after she tested positive for the banned substance triamcinolone triumphs in Olin, Accetonide, the Athletics Integrity Unity, has announced the sample was collected in competition during the Kuala Lumpur Standard Chartered Marathon on October 6th, 2024, and subsequently tested by a WADA accredited lab in Doha, Qatar, revealing the presence of the prohibited glucocorticoid. And the Anti-Doping Integrity Unit confirmed that Cherop admitted to the anti-doping rules violation, the Kenyan road runner, and of course accepted the consequences outlined in the list of the allegations. All right, so that is from the Anti-Doping Agency, the International Anti-Doping Agency, and of course extending or rather flexing their muscles in terms of trying to make sports remain as clean as it should be. Now, to some football matters, Kakamega Homeboys will play host to FC Leopards in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League encounter at Bohongo Stadium. Other matches lined up for today will see Sofapaka battle it out for glory against Ulinzi Stars, while Police FC will welcome Mara Sugar at Stimasako as Moranga Seal travel to the nation's capital to rub shoulders with Simba wa Nairobi. On Sunday, 2 matches are on the card. FKF champions Gor Mahia will be hoping to bag another 3 points as they mount pressure on the league leaders KCB. It's very interesting to see how the Football Kenya Federation Premier League is now taking shape. The race to actually clinch the 2024-2025 season is now gaining momentum and traction. This is now the alignment that we are used to. Now teams now picking their position. We have seen the likes of Gor Mahia now finding their rhythm after sending their coach packing, and now things have changed. We can see that out of 3 matches they played, they have picked 9 points, and that has really boosted their their genuine claim and of course stake in the Kenya Football Federation Premier League. And at this particular point, it's fair to say they are real title contenders. Alongside Tusker FC, we have Bandari, and of course the league leaders KCB. Now, that is the Kenya Premier League. Now let's switch focus to the English Premier League. The Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool has been suspended following concerns of a heavy storm. Brentford will play host to Newcastle at G-Tech Community Stadium as Aston Villa welcomes Southampton at Villa Park, as defending champions Manchester City will be hoping to bag another 3 points following their midweek victory against Nottingham Forest, while Manchester United will square it out against Nottingham Forest. On Sunday, Leicester City will face off Brighton as Chelsea clash against Tottenham in a London derby. All right, so those are the English Premier League fixtures. Timu kubwa hapo kesho ni bonge la machi. Ni bonge la mechi. Yeah. Chelsea vs Tottenham, the London derby. And of course Chelsea has been on the upward trajectory. Wametry ku silence critics, and I'm glad that now the discussion in the streets maybe walk among the title contenders. So that should ignite any Chelsea fan It's good when you see your team is playing good football and winning matches, and it's bring joy. It's bring joy. And that's amazing. So that is from the English Premier League, and of course remember today we have a couple of matches lined up in this English Premier League, same case with tomorrow, and this is something that of course we'll be taking you through later on in our subsequent analysis that we'll be bringing to you later on. But we want to take a very short break, but before we take that short break, we just want to remind you, we want you to talk to us on all of our social media platform. You can chip in and of course give us your views and thought in regard to the FKF premier of the FKF elections. So the question is just pretty simple. Which way FKF? Do you think the leaders that will be elected today will take the football Kenya to the next level? Do you think they have all what it takes to actually transform the football activities in the country? Given the heavy assignment that we have CHAN championship to prepare for, we have the Africa Cup of Nations, the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations to prepare for. Do you think maybe they will stand test of time? Will they transform and of course clean the mess that we have witnessed in the football, in the Kenya football activities? Do you think maybe this is now the team that we can peg our hope and trust that they have our best interest at heart? Talk to us. We'd like to hear your views and comment thoughts on this, the FKF election, whether you really think that probably now this is the time, this is the silver bullet that we are missing. Anyway, so we want to take a very short break. When we come back, of course, I'll be joined with my fellow, let me call him sport enthusiast and of course pundit in this regard, Sam Etiaki. Will be helping us to unpack the event 2024 as far as sporting disciplines is concerned, from the football all the way to athletics to rugby, and of course the hit and misses. All this will be unpacking to you later on, and of course we'll still bring you up to speed with what is happening currently. We have the ongoing matches in the Kenya Premier League, we have the Cape Town 7th editions, and of course we'll bring you up to speed, but this will happen after this very short break. See you in a while.
Kenyatta University will hold its 56th graduation ceremony on Friday, 13th December 2024 at the main campus along the Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony from 8 a.m. The ceremony will also be streamed live on KUTV and KU website, Lola app and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-3092 or 0786-335111 or visit the KU website on www.ku.ac.ke. The theme for the 56th graduation ceremony is Research and Quality Education in Transforming Lives.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii.
Yes, karibu sana. Welcome to the second segment of On the Sports Show. This is where we take you through some of the sports analysis. And remember, today is a special edition. It's a recap of the year 2024, the sporting activities in the country, around the globe, the hit and misses, and all this will be unpacking to you. And of course, to help me do that, I have my one and only Sam Metiaki. Karibu sana.
Shukran sana.
It's been a minute,
but we are back and we are doing what we have always been doing.
Tangu pote mambo ilikuwa mazuri. Unaona tuko wapi sasa?
Actually hiyo time nilipotea mambo imekuwa mazuri kushinda hata vile tulikuwa tunatarajia. Na sasa hizi hawana kitu ya kusema sana huko nje. Wametulia
na tumerepresent
pia KUTV leo kila kitu
nakala pia yangu
nakala pia ni
choice pia ilikuwa ni meticulously chosen, ndio
meticulously chosen.
Fantastic. Now the 2024 indeed imekuwa very amazing year. Ni mwaka yenye tunaikumbuka with a lot of with a lot of humility. In this regard, like it's a year that to witness a lot of sporting activities at the same time. Pia imekuwa year with a very ups and down. Remember, it was just moments after now tulikuwa na another undisputed king of the long races. I'm talking about Calvin Kiptum.
Yes.
This is a star mwenye maybe watu waliona atakuwa the next Kipchoge. Yes. Na owing to the standard probably angeset even the bar high. And it's a year that tulipoteza someone mwenye alikuwa very special. It's a year that tumedeal with a lot of gender based violence in sports. We have seen women athletes being killed. It's a year that our athletes pia wamepost a very impressive standard in the field. It's a year that pia tumepata that a nod to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations.
Yes.
A year that we are having election for the FKF.
Yes.
A lot of really
yes.
happen.
It's been like 3 years in 1 year. A lot of activities. But most of these activities zimekuwa on a positive note. Zimekuwa zikidrive sports as a sport. Sport imekuwa ina improve. Tumeona hata zile vitu ambazo hazijafanyika tayari zimeshika kuwa suggested zifanyike. I think we are on a good trajectory up to now.
So what to zipack one by one. Let's begin with athletics, because this is where I think this is where we have really ripped big in terms of success. Well, I think a while back, maybe probably close to 10 years, tulikuwa tunaongea about when will we Kenyans at least win the gold medal in the 10,000 meters race, that is women. And of course still we are talking about men, but at least as far as women races is concerned, we already have that. And we have a very amazing athlete mwenye actually ameonyesha a lot of potential, not only clinching the 10,000 but also 5,000. I'm talking about Beatrice Chebet.
Yes.
And of course that is a positive note on that end. Then tumekuwa na Faith Kipyegon mwenye pia haja disappoint this season. Trajectory yake pia imekuwa a bit quite amazing. And in 100 meters races, well, tuko na one of our very own, Ferdinand Omanyala. But in this particular season, kidogo ikikuja kwa global events, most of the time kidogo the foot haijakuwa on the right path, wacha niseme hivyo. So in terms of athletic success, unaweza rate aje Team Kenya's performance and of course the athletics itself as a nation?
Team Kenya in athletics wamefanya poa sana. kulikuwa na hiyo Olympics, especially in the Olympics waliperform vizuri sana. Hata niliona Olympics imekuwa one of the not one, actually it's the most followed event ya sports 2024. Na Wakenya tuliweza kushine hapo vizuri, although hatukuweza kusurpass zile standards tulikuwa tuna expect, still we managed to do very well. Na hiyo imekuwa encouraging, but on the other side pia tume notice we have so much to do, and I think that is where we should pick it from. What we should do to continue to improve. For example, kama vile Kenya, now that Kenya is already a powerhouse in athletics, I think the next thing tunafaa kufocus ni we should try and host these games up. One of the challenges imekuwa ikihinda tusiweze kuhost these games ni infrastructure, but I think the Ministry of Sports is stepping up. Wanna try maybe to mpaka the end of the year they will have done.
Kama tulihost under 18 na under 20, tunaweza host Olympics.
Kuhost Olympics itateka. We have work to do. Juu athletics naona I think saizi it's a very positive time, because first of all our leaders naona wamekuwa so concerned na athletics, na most of them wameona athletics ni kitu actually inaweza tumika sio tu kushine talents za our athletes, but pia kuinua jina ya Kenya as a nation. Ndio maana unaona hata leo kuna event ina happen cross country, but imekuwa marketed sana. I'm sure internationally wanaiona. So I think kuna hiyo trajectory ya kufanya vitu zikuwe bigger than what they used to be.
And you talk about marketing, and I think that is a very interesting area. And maybe probably 2025 we should be focusing.
Yes.
And you and I know that there is power in marketing, especially when you use the right tools.
Yes.
You can see, maybe without mentioning, but you can just say whatever is happening today, it's a manifestation, and a testament that when you plan something very well, and you do your marketing properly, then it's possible.
Yes,
it can happen.
It's very possible.
So maybe any eye opener and probably a game changer in the near future.
Na itakuwa hata replicated in other sports. Juu nadhani as a nation saizi ndio we have leaders wenye wanaanza kurealize that sports inaweza kuwa something inaweza ka benefit society in many other ways other than just entertainment. Na ndio maana tunaona leaders wameanza kuback hizi initiatives. Na I think itakuwa vizuri sana tukiona leaders wakiendelea kusupport hata wa extend to other sports. I think we will be at a very good place.
And now let's talk about now the rugby. Our boys walifanya wonders. They beat South Africa to qualify for the Olympics this year.
South Africa.
Then waka qualify for the promotion to the World Rugby Series. Now that is currently now happening. Remember the first leg it happened Dubai last week. Today is the second leg, the Cape Town 7th series. And the boys are there now. Tukiangalia like the journey in contrast with the 2023 and now 2024. Of course, to may have a lot of changes when it comes to the squad, and of course, the leadership, the leadership of the rugby union, all the way to the technical bench, and of course the aspect of the whole team formation. And here we are. Okay, draw your sharp contrast. How will you rate now the rugby, and of course going forward here?
Of course, rugby is one of the games yenye tumekuwa tukiperform vizuri sana the last few years. I think, but hii era ya kina Kayange na kina Injera vile ilitoka, kulikuwa na kitu imehappen hapo, ni kama the group yenye ilibaki hawakuweza do as well as they did. So imekuwa ni kama tuko kwa hiyo transition, we are trying to get back to where we used to be. But I think tumekuwa tukiprogress vizuri, tumekuwa tukifanya vizuri, although kumekuwa na setbacks hapa na pale. But generally I think we are continuing my trajectory. Kama hatuta plan chini tena I think tunaweza kumatch zile heights tulifika hiyo time kina Injera na kina Kayange. Yeah.
And the beauty about this rugby team, talking about the national rugby teams, the Shujas, they have a very young squad with a lot of potential.
Yes.
And this is a team that, for now, maybe yes, they might struggle.
Yes.
But there is a genuine sense that the future looks bright.
Yes.
When you see them play, when you see them the way they are, just with that. The zeal and the anger to succeed.
Yes.
It tells you that now this is a winning mentality in a team.
And I think the older players pia wamekuwa wakicontribute very positively. Wamechangia sana kutry kusaidia wa vijana wa cope na transition. They are very young players, as you say. Na competition kwa rugby it's very high. Maana kwa rugby we are competing against teams zenye ziko very well established. But we are very proud of what Kenya has done so far.
Indeed, we're very proud of that. Now, so I got to switch to, well, this one though, in fact, anytime like when you mention the word football, it's amazing. You're just happy, you're just happy.
Yes.
But okay, put the word Kenya.
Yes.
There's up to draw the line. So now let's talk about the football affairs in the country. Well, a lot has happened.
A lot.
And it's fair to say tumeona success.
Yes.
Tumekuwa na the first history-making batch of a team, the under-17 qualifying and taking part in the World Cup. The first team ever in the history of Kenya.
Yes.
Now that's a success.
That's a success story. And I think ni kitu very encouraging that this is a young team that is actually doing this, because for so many years we have not been able to climb to such heights. And nadhani sasa ni opportunity ya coaches na wale stakeholders wa football wa take na wa seize hiyo group waendelee kuimenta vile tu wako hivyo as a group. I think watatupatia very good results time watafika kujoin senior team. Na itakuwa maybe ita change face of football in Kenya. Maana football ndio imekuwa one of the sports to struggle the most in the nation.
Then we have the under-20 when you qualify to take part in the Africa Cup of Nations under-20s. And you see, for me, like nikiangalia the youngsters, it's like the future lies with the youngsters.
Yes, the future lies with the youngsters. That is very true. Kwa maana we have a new breed of players when you have a different mentality. We have a different crop of coaches. I think hapa kwa management tu vitu zikikuwa right, I have no doubt that in the next 2 to 3 years Kenya itakuwa one of the powerhouses pia in football.
And that's a very big dream. I dare to say it's a wild dream, by the way.
Yeah.
And talking about now the wild dream, a while back we were talking about what it will mean for Team Kenya if indeed wangeza ku at least clinch the ticket for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. However, that one haiku happen. We were anyway. Ni ngumu kusema.
We were subdued.
but there is something that Engine Ferrat mentioned about Harambee Stars.
Yes.
And actually, according to yeye, yeye alisema like a lot of blame should be shifted on the management, the Football Federation, and of course government also. Alisema like if you put your house in order, maybe today we got to know about clinching the ticket. Then nikakuwa like okay, let me hold back alafu ni try ku analyze. Then nikaanza ku analyze, niko like hypothetically speaking, let's say tumearrange our house in order. Players ni wale ama players tutatoa wapi?
I think Engine Ferrat akisema we need to get our house in order, mpaka players wako included.
Yes, and I think he's talking about in terms of logistics and paying players their dues, everything. Yeah, but for me, like it's now trickled down to now the performance on the pitch. We know like kitu yenye Engine Firat anasema it's very important, very critical.
And it's very true.
And for me, I support him on that one. But sasa, tukuje now to the matrix sasa on the field. So the players, wale. So with the little that you have, why not translate that into something? Alafu tuone like, in as much as complain, na yao unasema like, huyu jamaa angepewa something, maybe ange-achieve, because we can see kitu yenye ameproduce with the very limited resources and all the complaint yako nayo. Do you think part of failure of Harambee Stars, or rather Harambee Stars not qualifying, probably even the coach akona stake yake? Or should we now shift?
I think the coach haizi jitoa kwa hiyo story aseme mimi niko blameless, but I think most of the blame inaenda kwa management vile amesema. It's very embarrassing that Kenya haina field wanaweza host home matches. Hiyo ni one of the things zenye zilichangia bad results. Kwa sababu in football home ground ina matter sana. Wanasemaga the fans are the second the 12th player. So hiyo ni kitu very important. I think Kenya wale stakeholders when wana manage football in Kenya, the sports CS, I think they are not serious with football. Maana if you know the game of football, there are some crucial things for football to happen. These things have to be there. In fact, leo nimeona story ya our fields are still not ready. Unajua early next year kuna CHAN inakuja. Na fortunately we are among the 3 countries zita host. But hata our inspectors wa CAF walikuja, walisema I don't want to be embarrassed. You have to finish this thing by the 31st of December. I'm not really sure kama Kenya wata conclude hiyo reconstruction by the 31st. But fikiria mgeni akikuja kwa nyumba yako akwambie mimi nikikuja hapa tena sitaki aibu. Hii kitu nisipate hivi. Like it's so embarrassing. Na si eti ni pesa hakuna ama nini. It's just mismanagement. These are some of the things zenye zimekuwa zinatufanya tukue tuna lag in football sana. Na I think top management tu vile umesema, mimi na support Engine Firat. I believe kama hata players wakijua we are appreciated, we have funds, we are being compensated well, I think hizo vitu zinachangia sana kwa performance. So as much as we have the same players, our players unajua wakicheza ya football wachezei Firat, wanachezea country yao. But kama country yao iwa support, I don't think Firat anaweza help sana. Maana hata Firat anasema hiyo ni part yao, wanafaa wafanye hiyo part, then we do this part. But sasa kama unaona hata Firat hata yeye mwenyewe ameangushwa.
I think Waswahili wanasema mgala muwe hakimpesikia. I understand Kichenye Firat anasema, and I totally agree with Firat. But mbona ukwe like always una lament? Remember alipewa target. Aliambiwa wewe target yako ni nini? AFCON.
Qualify.
Make sure. And I think the guy alikuwa already nikasha sense. Nukunoma. It is impossible. Kasa like acha nitafute scapegoat.
No, but I think I'll try his best. Hata tukiona kwa hizi matches zenye hata although hatuko qualify, kuna game tulishinda. I think your game tulishinda, the whole country ilimpraise, ikapraise the team. But unajua kama vitu haziko in order, unaweza ukajikaza vile umesema, with what you have. You can do with what you have, but you can't always do with what you have. You have to have the things that you need. Leo mnaweza jikaza, leo mnasema hakuna hii lakini we have to win. Wakajikaza wakawin hata game moja. Lakini sasa kama sisi kama Kenyans tunatarajia hawa jamaa wakwe wanajikaza kila wakati, it's not going to be possible because they are on a disadvantage ukicompare na opponents wao.
And now because this is the right discussion that we are having, remember that Firat actually accused the body. It was the body that runs the football activities in the country, the FKF, Nick Mwendwa and his team. Today, we're expecting a new leadership.
Yes.
And we have the same ticket, but this time around the only difference is the president will now be the vice president, the vice president seeking to be the president. So and they're among the probably the top contenders in this race.
Yes.
So do you think this election presents the real solution to the ailing the ailing sector, the football sector? Do you think whatever the product that we'll get today will solve these problems that we have?
Yes, in Kenya, of course, I'm hoping hizo elections zitakuwa kwanza free and fair. maana kama kutakuwa na hizi vitu wanafanyaga huko ndani, then I think kama kuna kitu siwezi taka ifanyike, ni for example mtu kama Nick Mwendwa na huyo Doris Petra kukuwa re-elected. They have been there. In fact, wao wako na answers, wako na all the answers all the questions we are asking, wako na answers. But wakikuja hapo, I don't think nadhani tu wata repeat the same thing. Last time ilikuwa Mwendwa, sasa itakuwa ni Doris Petra. Haitakuwa na difference. But I think kuna some of the candidates wenye at least ile image wana sell, it's a bit promising. Although most of them ni watu wako tayari kwa football. They are just beneficiaries of that system. But at least niko na hope na some maybe 2 candidates, na some maybe huyu akiwin, we have at least a brighter future.
So who do you think huyo candidate mwenye una feel like maybe probably akipewa the opportunity things inaweza change?
I think personally I think Hussein Mohamed na Mariga, it's a good ticket, kwa maana Hussein Mohamed ametuprovia na track record yake. But Mariga tutambak juu ya hiyo experience, amepata international experience, najua pia networking. But I really believe in Hussein Mohamed. Yes, I believe Hussein Mohamed akiweza pata hiyo kiti, football ita change in the next 2 years.
Okay, because my worry is when you look at the 8 candidate, tukianza na Doris Petra, ako kwa system. If you were to blame the system, she's part of the system.
She's part of the system.
So why would you elect a failed system, hoping that maybe the system will be better? Because the system ni kama tasemaje?
You know, the leaders, although the system is flawed, but it comes down to the leader. You know, if the president does not endorse certain type of things, kama misconduct, corruption, president aseme, mimi in my tenure, this is out of order, hii imezifanyika. Then at least tunaona employees wale wako chini yake, hata kama wataendelea na corruption, wataifanya cautiously na wata minimize. But kama president mwenyewe yende wata lead kuloot, unaona there will be nothing left. So hata mimi hiyo ticket yangu ni vile tu na hope, najua Mohamed is not a very corrupt guy. So akiingia pale anaweza lead the way, na anaweza maybe enforce huku chini pia wafuate mfano yake.
Because unaona history will tell us. You remember, because I remember like it was yesterday, Nick Mwendwa campaign, humble guy.
By the way,
unaona this is a guy with a vision,
and that is why he got elected.
Kwa like now
this is the young guy mwenye anaangaliaga vijana wakicheza pale nje,
akona the best interest,
anajua kila kitu. By the way, it's a shock vile huyo jamaa alibadilika after some years. Hata saizi we don't recognize the Nick Mwendwa we elected in 2016. But we are just hoping that everybody is not like Nick Mwendwa.
Okay. All right, so we do hope that the 8 candidate whoever atakuwa elected, ata live up to the expectation.
Na by the way, ule candidate atachaguliwa, the first thing atafanya, I understand, ni kusack the national team coaches. Maana nilisikia Murkomen alisema contract ya agreement ile waliweka ilikuwa inakuja to an end. Yani deal ilikuwa, if you are not going to qualify for AFCON,
go home.
You will go. but I'm sure they will have some money to pay that guy. You know, these foreign guys wanajuaga ku exploit hizi countries wanawakia. Maana anajua although hii contract iko flawed, I will make sure in case itakuwa terminated, they will be the one losing.
So what is at stake for the guy that will be coming next? Because from today until, let's say, probably 2027, there is a lot on the table.
Yes, there is a lot. I think the guy who is coming, focus yake itakuwa ni ku nurture our under 20s. I think kama ataweza kufocus kwa hizi teams za juniors zenye zimekuwa zikiperform vizuri, I make sure amewa empower, ame look after their netwa kuangalilia nini? Welfare yao. Akiweza kuangalilia welfare yao vizuri, sidhani kama kuna reason yoyote hatutakuwa na team ambayo hata inaweza qualify for World Cup in the next maybe World Cup.
Yeah. So there is a lot from the team that will be taking over. And we do hope that this time round we'll not be sitting here and having discussion about how do they feel on this. I think it's also about time that stakeholders raise up to the occasion and speak.
Yes.
Power.
Yes.
When it's not working, it's
and now is the right time na hata tumeonyeshwa hiyo ni possible. Unajua hii mwaka ndio the first year actually athletes wao wenyewe wamekama out wakasema we as athletes we think this is not going right, we need this, we should have had this, and I think hiyo ni trajectory poa. Once our athletes wataanza kujiongelelea sasa, I think voice itakuwa hard found.
Haya, bado tu mambo na Mofira, lakini sasa tuende kwa FKF Premier League. We have a couple of excuse me, a couple of fixtures lined up for today.
Yes.
And what I'm really interested about is now the shape that the race is taking. We have seen teams that probably a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, walikuwa somewhere wana really struggle, and we were talking about like what really happened to this teams that we thought they were the dominant force in the Kenya Premier League. If you can recall, ulikuwa unaona like Gor Mahia is a team that really ilikuwa na struggle, wanapigwa, they draw, and you are like, what is happening?
And then the Brazilian coach was really a scam. Tuliuza walinunua jina kuliko the guy himself. Alikuwa ameflop, alikuwa anapeleka Gor Mahia on a very very downward trajectory. Na sisi wote, we as Kenyans, we know what Gor Mahia is capable of. I think vile ziko amechukua as an interim, vitu zimechange na Gor Mahia wanaendelea climb hiyo table very very steadily. Na wakiendelea hivyo siwezi kudanganya watakuwa hapo during the next couple of weeks.
So that's points to the failure of the coach.
Yes.
Anyway, maybe the system might work. So in today's fixtures, remember the early kickoff was against Kenya Police versus Mara Sugar. And that was the early kickoff at exactly 1 p.m. East African time or Kenyan time. Then we have Kakamega Homeboys against FC Leopard. This is the Ingo Derby. Probably this is another very exciting match, if you ask me, given the the enmity between the two teams. Each want to stake their dominance, and of course that's one of the most not successful, but when it comes to successful, of course FC Leopards holds that title, but at least one of the performing team, at least at this particular standard. But it's fair to say each team has had its fair share of challenges, sometimes up, down. So this is just a derby in itself.
Yes, by the way, as we are speaking, FC Leopards are leading 1-0 against Kakamega Homeboys, and the Police versus they were playing Mara Sugar. Police have just won 1-0
against Mara Sugar.
Yes.
And we have now today we have Tusker versus Mathare United. The match is still ongoing, 2 minutes
Yes.
to the after kickoff. Then we have Sofapaka against Ulinzi Stars, and the final match is against Nairobi City Stars versus Moranga Seals. Then tomorrow we have Posta Rangers against Kariobangi Sharks. Then we have Shabana versus Talanta, Bandari versus KCB. Big match, if you ask me.
Yes, that is
The league leaders versus the second
yes,
place.
they were second, now they are third because
They're third.
Yes.
Now Bandari FC versus KCB. Then we have Gor Mahia versus Bidco United, another very interesting match to see how the event will unfold. Now, about now the table taking shape. It's very interesting to see the way a team like Mathare United is rising from the ashes,
Yes.
and now find its rhythm.
Yes, by the way, Mathare they started the league quite slow, but as the league progressed, wanaanza kupick pace. Now wamewin their last 3 games. They have won all of them. Na hii ndio ile tulisema ligi kianzaga kuna kuwaga na timu unaweza ona Mara Sugar wamekaa juu ya table, but as it progresses wanasema the separation of boys from men in happen, then the usual suspects wanaanza kusurface. Maana football is a long term thing. Football si ile kitu utaamka leo alafu kuje kesho utapata wale wako hapo, and they definitely know things you don't know, they have tactics you don't have yet. Na hiyo ndio itakuwa difference.
Experience pia in accounts and the culture. Unajua ukiwa na the winning mentality,
Yes,
always,
yes,
even in turmoil, you'll still just win.
Yes,
because ume master the art of winning.
Yes, and I think the other thing is teams hizi zinaanza kupop juu ya table sahi ni management. These are well established teams, kwa hivyo hawajui, hakuna surprise inakuta wao in terms of running the team, what they expect in the Premier League, what is expected of them. Unajua hawa wanatoka huku chini, kuna vitu mingi wanakuja wana-realize we need this, now we need to upgrade this. I think wakifanya vitu kama hizo, these guys are taking charge.
Okay. And pretty quick, Gor Mahia sacked their coach, and now they have Zedekia Otieno.
Yes.
Remember, this is a very experienced coach.
Very experienced.
He led, I think he was coaching KCB. We have seen what he did. This is a coach with a very well-proven track record. Now taking the charge of Gor Mahia on interim basis.
Yes.
And then the first match he won, second he won, third he won. Tomorrow will be his fourth. Do you think maybe now this is the guy? Because I know like a team like Gor depend a lot on foreign coaches.
Yes. Yeah. And hii mambo ya kudepend on foreign coaches. We as Kenyans sijui kwa nini huwa tunatend to think that a foreigner is definitely better than the local guys here. Na hata ukiangalia hata national team tumekuwa na the same problem. We have a lot of qualified guys within the country, but tuko na hii ni mentality tuko nayo mbaya sana ya ku believe foreign must be better than local. But I think Zico anafanya poa sana na ataprovia Gor Mahia that tunaweza perform hapa. Unakumbuka hata time ya Harambee Stars kuna time tulikuwa tunakochiwa na Francis Kimanzi. Kuna time tulikuwa tunakochiwa na Ghost Mole. Najua kama ulikuwa unafuatilia Harambee Stars, we were doing much better kushinda vile tumekuwa na hawa these foreign coaches, Lugarisic, this guy mwenye ako currently. So I think it's high time pia we as Kenyans we start trusting in our own more.
Trusting the process.
Yes, we should trust our own.
Anyway, so now we have a Tusker. Gor.
Yes.
We are seeing Mathare United wanakuja. KCB pale imeshikilia table.
Yes. Police FC wanapanda.
Police FC ndio pia wanaanza pia kutafuta space yao.
Yes.
Well, so this when sasa table now ina take shape. The race, unaona farasi ni wangapi hapa na pengine ni farasi mgani ana mbio zaidi?
I think farasi watakuwa kama 4. Alafu sasa between between our wanne nadhani Gor Mahia kama mambo haitaenda south tena. I think Gor Mahia they will carry the day because Tusker wanakuaga very consistent but waga wana draw some of the games zenye wanafaa win. Na saa zingine tuna expect wa win na lose game atutaraji. Hiyo ndio imekuwa, I think that is why wanakuaga always number 2 number 3. But I think Gor Mahia wakiweka bidii wanaweza waka execute hii league vile wamekuwa wakifanya.
Okay. So tupatiane prediction pretty fast. FC Leopards Kakamega Homeboys. The match bado inaendelea of course. FC in a lead with 1-0. But at the end of game ni 90.
Game ni 90.
Prediction.
Anything can happen. Naona hiyo game kisha 1-1 actually.
It's a high stake game.
Yeah, it's a derby also.
A derby.
Yes.
Another very interesting match by the way. Tusker na Mathare.
Tusker Mathare.
Because this game iko na very rich history. Watu wajuangi tu.
This is a big game.
It's a big game. It's a big game because these are the boys from the city.
Yes.
And kitambo Mathare ilikuwa ni team kubwa
sana. Hata mimi time nilianza kushabikia KPL, Mathare ilikuwa one of the teams nilizijuza kwanza. Na ni community team. I think wako na hiyo wana enjoy hiyo fan base ya hood yao. Ni team imekuwa ikifanya poa sana. Hii season walianza wakiwa slow down. Sasa wako na big game. I think leo itakuwa the big test kwao. Wamewin games zao zimepita 3 but hawajawin against opponents as strong as Tusker FC. So this will be a very good game to keep an eye on. At one time. As for me I think kama mtu wa Tusker najua tutawin hiyo game 1-0.
1-0.
Yes.
In favor of Tusker.
In favor of Tusker.
Then we have Sofapaka against Ulinzi Stars. So this is where Robert Matano is. And I will be playing against the Ulinzi Stars.
Ulinzi Stars have still not picked themselves up. I think itakuwa game ngumu. I see a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
Yes.
And I wonder like nini inafanya like Ulinzi is not performing but in terms of support like support like basically ni kama the same. When you look at a team like Police FC they have all in terms of resources when it comes to facilities eco. I'm sure when it comes to even now facilitating players, the players' welfare, kila kitu iko sawa. Same case with Ulinzi. But one of the energy yenye tunaona in Police FC hatuioni Ulinzi.
Ulinzi wame drop in performance in the past 2 to 3 seasons. Maybe in shortage of talent. Mimi naweza sema labda wako na shortage of talent. You know these guys, before you play in their team you have to be a military guy. So wako restricted now. We have to depend on the military guys only. Si Police FC nilikuwa naona wakirecruit, they can recruit a civilian player and then they will now kuinduct kwa police service. But Ulinzi are one of the same, so Ulinzi wanategemea tu within the military. Maybe hiyo ndio imekuwa ikiwa limit.
Anyway, so pretty quick, City Stars vs Murang'a Seals.
City Stars, Murang'a Seals, 1-0 for City Stars.
1-0 for City Stars.
Yes.
Simba Nairobi. Then on Sunday, Postal Rangers vs Murang'a Kariobangi Sharks.
That will be a tough game. Postal Rangers wako chini kabisa ya table. Kama hata kamba watapigwa bado.
Talking about another team yenye iko chini kwa table, we have Shabana vs Talanta.
I think Shabana watawin. Talanta pia wana struggle sana.
All right. Bandari KCB, that is a big match. KCB na back KCB will win. KCB will win against Bandari. KCB will be playing away
to Bandari in Mombasa. That will be a tough game. Na kama KCB wataweza kuwin, wanakuwa dethroned up kwa position 1.
And I see. I think for this will be a very tricky game for KCB, given the fact that kupiga Bandari Baraki na kwanga a little bit tricky sometimes. I know like kuna teams wame manage, but
It's tough. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
Yes, I think KCB wang'ang'ana sana.
Yeah. Okay, then Gor Mahia, the defending champion, versus Bidco United.
Na back Gor Mahia win your game, waendelee ku climb table and to their rightful place.
The rightful place.
Yes.
History tells us that this kind of fixtures are very tricky. In most cases, Gor Mahia versus Bidco imekuwa end in a stalemate draw. So there's a very tricky game for both teams. And for me, kama nilikuwa na advice investor, ingekuwa ni ile yenye unachezanga save, not double chance, but unaweza Gor or draw.
Na Gor or draw. Lakini kuna motivation ya Ziko maybe. The boys were gonna new energy.
All right, so excuse me. So let's take that. We want to take another very short break. When we come back, we'll be diving into Motors International Sports Review, just to bring you up to date with what to expect this particular weekend, and of course, even as we look forward from very exciting encounters in the English Premier League and across the globe. So let's take this very short break. When we come back, it's all about Motors Sports Review, International Sports Review. All right, welcome back. This is the third edition, segment of On the Sports Show. And of course, this is where we take you through some of the international sports review. And of course, this particular week, a lot has really happened, especially in the midweek. We have had some very interesting and amazing footballing action from the English Premier League. Some of your best teams really wameshow like why they are the best, and tumekuwa na so many outcomes. Pia surprise, ijakuwa a lot of surprise that way because kuna ingine ilikuwa pretty much obvious. Remember there is a time, the last time I was here, a friend of mine, for the sake of his peace of mind and Jumina mjali, sita mention, lakini alitoa switi akasema kuanzia leo ni kusikia tu mautamu tu. Laiti angalijua. Kumbe switi ilikuwa ni ya kuongeza pressure msee. Ni kuongeza pressure ama ni kumpatia psych, because prepare for tough times, and that guy is a very staunch supporter of Manchester United. Nasikia mashetani walizabwa makofi.
Ni mmoja wa jeshi la wekundu. Wakazabwa mawili na bado wakajitetea. Unajua ndio mambo unishangaza sana na hawa mafans wa hii team inajiita mashetani wekundu. Ati wamefungwa 2-0 na points 3 zimeenda. Na game ikiisha, they want to tell us something. They want to tell us that hizo goals ni za kona. Kwani
sijui ni kona ati sijui how can a team just depend on corners. Do you think what a win league? Okay, anyway, league naye pia hiyo team naye kidogo haiwezi. Lakini the bottom line ni walitandikwa. Good. Anyway, so the English Premier League fixtures, the early kickoff was supposed to be Everton vs Liverpool. Merseyside derby postponed. Now Brentford will be up against Newcastle United. That match will be played at exactly 6 p.m. East African time. Then we have Aston Villa, who will be playing against Southampton. Will be hoping to seek redemption after they were
demolished.
High five.
Yes.
Na ile timu mbaya sana. Nikitaja hiyo kuna watu watasikia vibaya. Tusonge mbele. Crystal Palace was Manchester City. This is a very tricky fixture.
Crystal Palace wako na history ya ku upset Manchester City.
Frustrate kabisa.
Ya ku frustrate. So tutakuwa tuna hope wata replicate the usual form leo. Wa upset kabisa Manchester City.
Wazike kabisa.
Sisi kama ni Manchester hatuna shughuli.
Anything ni Manchester.
Manchester.
Either City, United, wanaweza kuwa United wote, the City of Manchester na Manchester United wako united in their troubles, right?
Yes.
Good. Now Manchester City vs Crystal Palace. That's another match played today. So si tupatiane prediction basi tukienda Newcastle Brentford
2-1 in favor of Brentford. In favor of Brentford.
Okay.
Tunajua Newcastle by the way wako 11th ama wako ngapi kwa table. They are not doing as well.
They are not doing as well.
Yes.
Lakini ile team bwana.
Hii ni team but team in the making. Alafu nilinotice wanakuwaga tu very aggressive against some certain teams. Ikifika ni hizi teams za ligi yao, waga tu they are just an average team.
So according to wewe, hii nayo wanarambwa.
Hii nayo watarambwa.
Okay. So Aston Villa, Southampton. In fact, hizi timu mbili kuna venye wamepitia kichinjio wote moja, so unaje?
Lakini Aston Villa kulingana vile tuliwapima, Aston Villa kuna nguvu kidogo. Nadhani anaweza akampiga Southampton.
Anaweza piga Southampton. Hawezi shikana wasema brother, unajua
Southampton wako kule chini kwa ligi.
Tulifanywa ile kitu tukiwa wote, situpendane.
Hakuna hiyo kwa mpira.
So scoreline
Southampton Aston Villa 2-0 in favor of Aston Villa.
2-0 in favor
of Aston Villa.
Crystal Palace Manchester City scoreline.
That is a very tough game, but naona Man City wanaweza shinda because they are aware these guys wanawasumbuaga sana. I think Man City wanaweza wakawin hiyo game 2-1.
Uoni nani akizidisha kipara?
Na Guardiola. Unajua midfielder wake amerudi, De Bruyne alisema the reason alilose.
Acha. De Bruyne amekuwa akitandikwa tu.
Hajakuwa.
Hiyo timu imekufa ndugu yangu.
In fact Guardiola alijitetea akasema hivi, the reason wame lose the past few games ni akauliza hata wewe ukiwa na timu yako hauna midfield wote wana injury. How will you play? But tuliona De Bruyne alirudi kwa hii game walicheza midweek akafanya assist, I think aliscore pia. Hiyo inaweza pia.
Nikuulize swali tu simple. Hii ni Manchester City. Umejua tangu lini?
Nimejua tangu kutoka kina Tevez, kina Robinho waanze kwa.
Haya, tuongelee time ya Pep. Hii ni team A strong, team B strong. Kuna time De Bruyne amekuwa na injury. City imekuwa ikishinda ama ishinde.
Akiwa na injury. City wana struggle.
Ndugu yangu, City imeshinda hadi kabeba ligi De Bruyne akiwa na injury. Unajua tunaongelea timu yenyewe for the 7th season imeshinda 6. What are you telling me?
Yes, but unajua hii season hiyo mambo hii
chama imeenda.
Labda waseme vijana basi wamebeat.
Formation imeenda. Kuna mtu amehepa na kitabu ya formation. Sasa ni kuchanganyikiwa.
Juu hapo kwa midfield kulikuwa na shida. I think pia nani hajarudi bado. Rodri bado. So Guardiola alikuwa anatumia excuse. Alisema mimi sina Rodri, sina De Bruyne na sina backup. So what
I think kama kuna coach mwenyewe hajazoea kushindwa ni Pep. In fact Pep ajaish ati upigwe 1 2 3 4 5.
Na hiyo mambo ilikuwa inafanyika Premier League kabisa before akuje. But sasa itabidi amesettle in. Hii ni Premier League. Itabidi akubali. Hapa Premier League unaweza pigwa. Haijalishi uko na excuse gani. Ukipigwa umepigwa.
Tumwambie welcome to Premier League by friend. Ndio hivi sasa inakuanga hivi. And for me napendanga ku predict sana scores. Sijai prophesize about the future, but I can tell you Pep the way vitu inaenda amesign contract ya 2 years.
2 years.
But alisign contract extension ya 2 years. I'm afraid hata live long kuenjoy your contract.
But unajua Man City wako na big bank account, so akimfinish na wale players ataitisha.
In fact, and that is up under pressure tatokea. For a team like Manchester City, anybody mwenye anakupay well ana demand a lot from you. If you're not performing,
and that is where the pressure comes in. Maana hata ukiangalia hakuna manager mwingine angekuwa na pressure, maana ako number 3 kwa table. But for Pep Guardiola, that is like being uko bottom.
Number 3 ni Arsenal.
Uko bottom. Wamekuwa number 4 saizi.
4.
4. Wameshuka haraka sana.
Na wanaweza shuka. Hii kitu inakuaga hivyo ndugu yangu, na inanga chuki. Ni ujipange. Mpira bana unakuja na tikitaka. Kuna watu, in fact sahi the most amazing thing ni wewe hebu angalia Mikel Arteta. Mwanafunzi wa nani?
Wa Guardiola.
Maresca.
Mwanafunzi wa Guardiola.
Ndugu yangu. Unaona hiyo
nani yao ndio wanakuja kumnini? Nasemekanaga
Maresca kwanza hadi amemcopy style. Nywele.
Student waga anakuwa mjanja kuliko mwalimu.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Hii ligi
by the way.
Hii ligi ni view sasa.
Ni noma.
Hii inaweza kaa ngumu.
Hii pia itakuwa ngumu.
So to cross over but to another team, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest is a very very strong team. Especially kwa hii season. Manchester United ndio wanafufuka. Ndio wanapata signs of life. I think watakuwa na test ngumu sana leo. Labda wacheze kama final. Ndio wanaweza pata draw. lakini
so unaona ni kama leo anaweza potelea kwa Forest.
Leo anaweza potelea kwa Forest. Unajua Forest ni Liverpool.
Ndio hiyo sasa.
Ili upset Liverpool. Na hata ilipocheza na Chelsea ili draw bado. Ilitupatia very difficult time.
Hii team ni stubborn.
Hii team ni very stubborn na Manchester United kulingana na vile niliona wakicheza. Sidhani kama wataweza kubreak.
Mimi naona hii Manchester United after kupigwa kofi itabidi wapotelee kwa msitu.
Hata mimi
naona Forest. Naona leo inaweza kaa ngumu. Kocha anasema yes is special one but then the smiling one. I hope maybe.
Na ni vizuri sana hawa coaches wa Manchester United wanangangana ku lower the pressure. Unajua mafans wa Man U wanakuwa na over expectations. Hata Amorim naona anangangana tu kuambia wa Manchester United. Now I'm trying to manage the expectations. So please Manchester United fans pale nje, msikuwe na a lot of expectations, hata coach mwenyewe haamini. Sasa nyinyi
Haya. London derby. Fulham Arsenal.
That is a very very good game. Fulham wako 6th size by the way. But they are coming up against the Gunners. Wamekuwa form sana. Itakuwa game ngumu but I'm not backing but I'm expecting Arsenal to win that match.
Arsenal to win.
Yes.
Hata wakipigwa ni sawa tu. Haina noma. Anyway, sawa. So score line umesema ngapi?
Score line I think Arsenal 2 Fulham 0.
Arsenal 2 Fulham 0.
Yes.
Haya, sawa basi tukuje sasa Sunday kesho. Leicester City pale na Brighton.
Pia Leicester wana coach mpya ule Van Nistelrooy.
Nimeona ameanza kufanya mambo yake.
Walishinda midweek. So I think wako na hiyo motivation, wako na hiyo energy na wabako wa win pia hii weekend.
Wanaweza
kuruga watu at least 2-1.
Na wako home. King Power Stadium. Mambo yanaweza chemka. Haya, Ipswich Town Bournemouth.
Bournemouth imekuwa ikifanya poa. Maybe Bournemouth.
In fact hii ndio ili set City.
Hii ndio ile set hiyo downward trajectory ya City.
After kuinyorosha kila timu kakuja wewe inaikanyaga tu.
Bournemouth wamekuwa wakicheza vizuri sana hii season na wabako washinde Ipswich.
Haya. Timu kubwa.
Chelsea
Tottenham London derby.
That will be a derby. Of course hii derby kwa rahisi. But hii derby pia inategemeaga ni nani yako form at the moment. Imekuwa ni derby mzito but the past few years tumewadominate sana. I think tutawapiga. Judging on ile form Chelsea wako saa hizi, I don't think Tottenham watatu stop. Wana attack. So watatuachia spaces za ku attack back.
Kuna mtu anashuku ati si walkover. Sikumwambie. Kaisedo wapi? Kaisedo pale, ndio. Weka hapa Cobb. Weka hapa Fofana.
Enzo.
Nani huku kwanza Kukurela. Enzo na Lavia washike hapo kitu mawe. Pale mbele tupatie Madweke. Kijana hapa katikati patia Cole Palmer. Jackson afanya mambo yake pale mbele. Huku kando
kuna Sancho.
Kazi tu ni
kuhesabu. Na kuna Pedro anangoja bench.
Hii team ni moto. Haina size yake.
Kila mtu anajua hiyo.
Haina size yake. Tulikuanga last season tu kwa form, lakini tulikanyaga tukikanyaga.
Hata vile season ilikuwa karibu kuanza, nilikuwa nasikia wanakejeli sana. Hata wanasema Chelsea iko na wachezaji 60. Sasa wachezaji 60 wataenda wapi?
Mnauza tu. Amiko tactical. Unanunua tu ovyo.
Sasa hizi ndio wanaona kazi yao wachezaji.
Sasa hii anaona pesa ya Enzo Fernandez. Ilikuwa ni 105. Wanaona pesa. Nani Kaisedo akakuja akitafuta fit yake wakamtusi. Sasa huyu hata mngeacha ende Liverpool. Kaisedo ni nani sahi? Lavia. Wanasema mlileta sijui mtu na hata hajaicheza.
Hao wote walikuwa ni waliangalia pale mbele.
Akikushikia midfield. Unakumbuka Ngolo Kante.
Nani hivyo ndio mambo
na mambo yake very sure. Anyway, so that is the EPL. So prediction yako, let's say City, not City but Liverpool imeset a very high standard. In fact, wao ndo na lead the race.
Wako mbele ya number 2 na points 5. Those are 2 games. Kulingana na vile na ile namba ya mechi zimebaki, it's not impossible kuwatoa hapo juu. But ita need easy teams zenye ziko hapo. Chelsea waendelea na momentum ile wako nayo, na to hope Liverpool watakuwa slowed down. I think table by the time tunafika May, naweza kuguarantee Chelsea itakuwa juu ya hiyo table,
because wanasemanga like wanasemanga December ndo ina determine formation ya December, ndo najuanga ligi inaenda na nani. Kwa December mtu wangu,
kwa December saa hizi na Liverpool tayari wanakaa ni kama wanataka kukimbia naye, lakini tunawafuata. Na pia naona wako na mechi ambazo ni bab kubwa. Kuna mechi ambazo naona watahitaji kufanya kazi ya ziada, na washa win first leg, so sijui kama watamanage kupiga hizi timu kubwa home and away, itakuwa ni kazi ngumu sana, but kama watamanage ligi ni yao.
Okay. Alafu nimeona, unajua pia something nimelearn, squad depth ina matter a lot.
It matters.
Liverpool, yes, wako na quality players, but we can only talk about the first 11 now.
Yes.
Ikikam kwa rotation, ni kutricky. So I'm wondering ikifika ile point yenye fatigue na chip in.
Na actually hiyo ndio season tumeingia saa hizi. Saa hizi unajua games zimekuwa mingi sana. Unasikia hata coaches wakicomplain all over the place. Kina Klopp walikuwa na complain. So saa hizi I think ndio team iweza kucheza vizuri, lazima ukuwe na hiyo depth that hata unaweza ukaassemble completely new first 11 na usicomplain ni team B. So we are in an era yenye depth itakuwa a must,
very critical.
Yes.
And sasa hapo ndo the financial muscles sasa ina play. And nimesikia talks about CG teams waache kufield in their weak team. Walikuwa na attack I think ni teams like Manchester City and of course Chelsea.
Okay.
Because ukiangalia like Chelsea in their midweek competitions mostly kuna some certain players wamekuwa rested. It's because but they can't fault teams zenye imejipanga vizuri.
Na hawezi
ni kujipanga, pesa si issue. Issue ni matumizi.
Kweli kabisa.
Anyway, so juu pia time kidogo na tukimbiza kama hii mwaka, lakini ni sawa. So but before tukafunge bana, si unaweza tuambia moja mbili tatu hivi even as we wind up this show bana, tuambie season yako pole mwaka imekuaje in terms of sport, and even kama unaweza toa pia ka something to the stakeholders, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Even as we wind up.
Okay, as we wind up ni ile kamera
yako ni hiyo.
As we wind up naweza sema imekuwa mwaka mzuri sana. Nimekuwa hapa since May, so nimekuwa kutoka mwezi wa 5, so it's been quite some few months, but tumefanya a lot hapa kwa on the spot. Nimefurahi sana niliweza kupata hii opportunity ya kuweza kujoin hii show, na pia pale kwa newsroom, na pia wewe mtazamaji ambaye umekuwa ukitufuatilia kutoka nianze kukuja kwa hii show, na hata kabla sikuwa na kuja hii show. Imekuwa bila wewe ingekuwa possible, na imekuwa success. Personally nimelearn a lot, nimegain a lot, na natumai pia wewe mtazamaji pale nyumbani nimeweza kukuentertain, nimeweza kukuinform. Na tunapoenda kucelebrate Christmas na kuwelcome our new year, nataka tu niwatakie wote Christmas njema na mwaka mpya wenye mafanikio.
Okay. Nimeona umetutunukia sifa kochokocho. Kiswahili hiyo, si ndio? Mufti. Anyway, the 2024 imekuwa very amazing season. Tume have a lot of good experience, a lot of growth, a lot of interaction with our fans, and of course for their always continued support. Well, mimi upenda kusema like hii show bila wewe si show. So mimi nataka tu nikushukuru for your loyalty, and of course for always supporting us throughout the year, and we promise you that this is just the beginning. There is more to come. Thank you so much for the men and women behind the scene, and for those who made this production a success, and not forgetting you wewe mwenye unafanya nikuwe hapa, not forgetting you. Thank you so much. Until next time, wacha weekend tubambe, na usisahau trend ni blue, na blue ndo color, na tunakuja men. Next time hii kitu nishaona imekuwa yetu, but tusiseme mapema, tutakwambia baadaye. Anyway, so hivyo ndo hivyo. Shukran.